peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Miriam Mugutu. The show is Good Morning Africa. We're coming to you, as always, from Kenya's capital here in Nairobi. It's 9 a.m. East African time. 7 minutes past 9 to be precise there. Thank you for finding time to be with us today. Before I bring in my panelist, I'd like to bring us up to date with the latest figures of COVID-19 in the country. And Kenya right now, confirmed cases stands at 132,646. The death toll so far is 2,147 cases. Recovery rate is 92,290. Uganda, 40,839. Death toll in Uganda is at 335. Recovery is 40,448 cases. And South Africa, the leading country in the continent right now, the figures there stands at 1,546,735 cases, with 52,788 of those having died, and recovery so far stands at 1,473,588. And then I'll just skip over and go to the total cases in Africa this morning. And right now we stand at 4,180,001. The number of people who have since died in the continent is 111,919. And recovery so far is 3,691,255. And the global figures have surpassed 128.8 million cases there. So, and over 2 million. About over 2.8 million people so far have since died globally from COVID-19. So that is the latest. I'm joined this morning in the panel by Douglas Kirimi, all the way from Meru County. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Mugutu, and also to my friend Jevan Karanja, to our crew at our headquarters in Nairobi, and also to our viewers across the world. Good morning. Right. Thank you for having me on the show, Miriam. Thank you.
Good morning, Douglas. It's nice to have you this morning. And we're also joined by Jevan Karanja, all the way from Nanyuki. Jevan, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Miriam. Good morning to our viewers wherever they are watching us from. And good morning to my friend Douglas Kiremi. I know it's not a very good morning to the people of Kiambaa. They have lost their member of parliament. We wish all of them to be strong. This time they are mourning their member of parliament. Thank you.
All right, very well. Yes, indeed. And that should act as a cautionary tale to Kenyans there who still don't think that COVID is real, because according to his family, he died from COVID-19 related complications. So you're still advised to make sure that you're safe out there, even as you go on with your normal lives out there. It's not business as usual, and so you're urged to continue taking care of yourself. All right, very well. Let me just turn now to our headlines this morning on the leading newspapers. I'll start with the Standard newspaper. And Raila's top men in surprise BBI move. That is the main headline. And down there it says, this way, that way, the Orange Democratic Movement has sent signals that it may be going slow on the quest to review the Constitution through the Building Bridges initiative, in telling pronouncements by top party officials yesterday. The government was urged to instead redirect funds set aside for the upcoming referendum to fighting a COVID-19 pandemic. The story is on page 6 of the Standard newspaper. And then up there a KCSE exam leakage, red alert over threat. Tens of schools being probed over new exam leakage fears, signaling a return of vice only 3 days into 2020 KCSE test. And then on the side there, questions linger as DP Kenyans get Sputnik jabs. The Deputy President and his family were yesterday vaccinated with the Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine despite uncertainty on its efficacy. And then just below that story, 8-month House Watchdogs inquiry exposes KEMSA's rot, and then unease arrest after drone overflies DP's Ruto's current home. All right, and then we turn our attention to the Daily Nation. And the main headline there says, spy agents, drones rattle politicians, and manned gadget flies into Deputy President William Ruto's compound, triggering a security alert. Governor Kivutha Kibwana and Senator Kipchumba Murkomen have complained about the aircraft overflying their homes. Okay, there you go. And then the main picture there on the front pages of the Daily Nation says, Kwaheri Mama Sarah Obama, as she led a simple life. So was her funeral yesterday, conducted according to her Islamic faith. The Obama family matriarch Sarah Oguel Onyango Obama was buried at Kogelo in Siaya County yesterday. El Ade, what Somalia knew about the attack. So that story is on page 6 there of the Daily Nation. And we turn our attention to the Star newspaper. KEMSA board and CEO to blame for 7.6 billion Kenya shillings scandal. Senate report says CEO Manjari single-handedly dished out tenders. The story is on page 4 and 5. And then Jubilee, NASA, Pact Post One Kenya Alliance push. The story is on page 6. Panic has drawn hovers over Ruto's current residence. The story is on page 3. And then businesses crash and massive job losses as new COVID rules strike. So there you go. And then on the main headline there on the Star newspaper is DP Ruto receiving the COVID-19 vaccine yesterday. So maybe you should just start with that story. And perhaps it was quite interesting when we saw the DP. Let me just go to page 4 of the Standard newspaper. Deputy President William Ruto getting his Russian vaccine there. So let me just read through, and then we'll have a conversation, and then we jump into the BBI and find out what Jeanette said yesterday. The national COVID-19 vaccination program took a different turn last evening when Deputy President William Ruto going for Russian Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine, whose use and distribution the government had cautioned against. Ruto released photos of himself and his wife Rachel Ruto getting vaccinated by a health worker days after he missed out of last Friday's jab session at State House, where President Uhuru Kenyatta led senior government officials in getting vaccinated. Douglas, start us off.
Miriam, we have a huge problem in this country. A man that has been a super spreader of coronavirus in this country, moving in every village in the name of fundraising, in the name of empowering the poor people, in the name of empowering poor people, fruit vendors, young people who ride motorbikes across the nation, poor people in this nation, an advocate of the poor, going for the vaccine of the rich people. Miriam, I know how insensitive Dr. William Ruto can get, but I didn't know that he can go for the Russian vaccine when the whole country is getting the AstraZeneca, Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, that even the president and the first lady, with their billionaire status, they went for the vaccine that the common person is going for free. But this billionaire who has pretended for such a long time to be the advocate of the poor people. Miriam, you know, when the president went for the vaccine, myself and Karanja and others, we were very convinced. And actually in the morning, we said if the president goes for the jab, he gives confidence to his followers now, we can now be able to go for the vaccine. And I've heard Karanja go on record saying that now he can now be able to go and get the vaccine since the head of state has now assured us the AstraZeneca vaccine is safe and good for public use now that he himself has been vaccinated with the same. But Miriam, what we are seeing today is the hypocrisy that I've been talking about. People think that I hate Dr. William Ruto. As a human being, I have nothing against Dr. William Ruto. It is hypocritical tendencies and tenets that have been ingrained in his blood that I keep talking about and telling people to watch out. Because Miriam, when the poor people in this country cannot be able to afford a meal per day, $1 per day for their existence, Dr. William Ruto went for over $100, over 10,000 vaccine. Remember, he also made sure that everyone in his family has been vaccinated with his 91% efficacy vaccine. But at the end of the day, the question rings, who is going to pay for this expensive vaccine to the poor people in this nation, Miriam? People should forget about telling me that everyone should look out for themselves. When William Ruto was shaking hands in Meru, I complained right on this television and other channels. I made noise that Dr. William Ruto has made so many people lose their lives that we cannot announce even on this TV. People have lost lives in my village. I can't tell people condolences from my position here as a panelist. Why? Because they have no name in this country. But Dr. William Ruto has defined every containment measure, including now that political rallies have been banned. He keeps receiving people at current office. But today, Dr. William Ruto wakes up a new man, a man that has shunned asurarism, a man that has shunned the poor people and went for the vaccine of the rich people. If he was true to the core of Asuras in this nation, and I've said this man since 1992, he has never walked the talk of the poor people. He has been hitting and also moving around with the billionaires, and there is nothing, Miriam, wrong with doing that politically, but for him to be able to write to the people, do rallies, treat people to campaign for him, and even for his party UDA. We have seen poor people have lost lives in Bonchari, and we have not seen him send condolences or help to those families. We have seen him continue campaigning against the two presidential bans on political rallies. And this is a man who has gone for the Russian vaccine that is very expensive, that the poor people of this nation cannot be able to get that vaccine. It is a high time the poor people in this nation, Miriam, knows truly a man that has no interest of them, that he wants them to die. Miriam, what do you want poor people to do? You want them to go for the vaccine and their families have, which is 10,000, and there is a free jab that when the president was calling senior government officials, which William Ruto is, by the way, constitutionally, he didn't show up at State House to be vaccinated, but he has gone for an extra expensive vaccine that I cannot dare take that. I want my family to go get vaccinated by the AstraZeneca that everyone can be able to afford, because all you are needed is to appear and get the jab. Okay. But Miriam, we have seen the hybrid political gunman masquerading as the savior of the poor, going for what the rich people stand for in this country. And this is a man that wants to become our president, thinking that he is standing with the poor people. The only person that has shown concern for the poor people is the president, because he has gone for a free jab. He has not paid anything for it. But Dr. William Ruto, Miriam, this morning, he has shown us his true colors, who he is as a leader and who he is as a person. You cannot abandon Asuras this time, Miriam, as I conclude my point. You cannot abandon them and make sure that these Asuras have nowhere to go. Jivan Karanja can afford that Russian vaccine, but he cannot go for that. He would rather get his villagers and get everyone in their family go and get the jab that is free, so that we can be able to build public confidence and build public acceptance of the AstraZeneca vaccine that can be afforded by everyone, Miriam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Douglas Kirimi. Now, earlier in the day, that was yesterday, the same health worker had vaccinated two prominent lawyers, Abdinasir Abdullahi and Donald Kipkorir, with Sputnik V vaccine. On Monday, the Russian embassy in Nairobi distanced itself from the COVID-19 Sputnik V vaccine. In his tweet, Ruto made reference to vaccines as opposed to vaccine. The Kenyan government has been championing the distribution, use, and access of AstraZeneca. Now, let's look at what possibly this could mean, Javen, because he is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and the Minister of Health we've been seeing the reluctance from our health workers, from our frontline workers, from Kenyans raising doubts and not having too much confidence. But I've seen in the few days, the recent past, we've seen a huge number of Kenyans, I think, going. I don't know if because of having President Kenyatta having his jab on Friday, so maybe that might have inspired a bit of their confidence. But this is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya decides to go and get this other vaccine that is not government sponsored. What kind of messaging do you think our Deputy President was trying to pass out here?
Thank you, Miriam, for that question. And for the last, after 2017 election, Miriam, we have seen the Deputy President trying by all means to do opposite of what the President is saying. And he has tried to campaign for his hustler narrative. He has tried to do things that are contrary to government agenda. And now, Miriam, at this critical time, when President Uhuru Kenyatta, the head of state, and the Deputy President has been claiming that he follows what his boss does, he trusts the leadership of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Yesterday, he didn't walk that talk when he went and took the Russian vaccine. To me, this was to show that he has the political muscles. This was to show the president, I can defy what you said, because Miriam, what we understand, this Russian vaccine have not been, the government has not given its go-ahead to be used in the country. Therefore, I don't see why the Deputy President chose to do that. And I think, to me, that was to show that he can do contrary to what the government is saying, understanding in mind that he is still the Deputy President of this very government. Therefore, to me, that was so hypocritical, and he didn't portray a good picture. Number two, Miriam, to the people who have been calling hustlers, the people who have been talking as a representative too. Which message are they getting? Now they are confused, Miriam. Today, if these hustlers realizes that their leader is getting a different vaccine, they will lose hope. They will lose confidence with this free vaccine that we are getting. The AstraZeneca vaccine from Oxford. They will lose hope, Miriam, and you will see them being confused. And to some extent, you will see some people who follow the Deputy President not going to take this free jab from Britain, because to them maybe they will now start scrabbling to get this Russian vaccine. But that is not the right move, because as a country, we need to follow what our president is saying, what the government is saying. If they're saying we use the AstraZeneca vaccine, let all Kenyans adhere to that. Miriam, finally, maybe the health of a person is so private, because Miriam, maybe we could not have chosen the way how the Deputy President should have behaved, or which vaccine or which hospital he should attend. But as a leader, he carries the figure, he carries the state, he has followers. He is not just an ordinary Kenyan. If Grad Muller, the lawyer, takes the vaccine, or Donald Kipkoril takes the Russian vaccine, it is quite acceptable, because they are not representing anyone. But when the Deputy President does, we are left with a lot of questions. Does he not trust the AstraZeneca vaccine? Does he not trust the leadership of President Uhuru Kenyatta? And all these things, Miriam, this is not the right move. And to me, I was surprised that even the doctors, Miriam, the Deputy President, to some extent, didn't trust the local doctors. In fact, I saw an Israelite, I don't know whether he's a Russian doctor also, but he was not a Kenyan. Therefore, this shows these leaguers are around, and Kenyans are really wondering what's wrong with the Deputy President, who has been the champion of hustlers. Maybe, Miriam, he has a plan that maybe to roll out the Russian vaccine to all hustlers who visit him at Karen. I wish he does that, because most hustlers will not afford this vaccine, and it should be high time that the Deputy President, as a representative of the hustler, and he has set the bar up there, he walks the talk and he buys this Russian vaccine to all people who support him, so that we can see that he works and he means what he says, so that we can see that he really cares for these people called hustlers. But what he did is good for his health, is good for his, but the message that he is sending out here is not good for this country. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Patrick Mundilo. Thank you for joining us this morning, and a very good morning to you. Professor, you just joined us. A very good morning to you. Okay, Professor Jared Onyari, I wanted to hear his take on this. And on Monday, the Russian embassy distanced itself from the vaccine, saying it had been imported into the country by a private entity on commercial basis. The embassy of the Russian Federation in the Republic of Kenya hereby underlines that it is the obligation of private importers to strictly follow all the regulations of the Kenyan authorities and act in compliance with the legislation of the Republic of Kenya. The embassy said they also directed all questions related to the vaccine to the importer, not to them, to the importer. Mumulize, if something happens, you go and ask, because they did not even contact us. We don't know how that got here. It was just by private, institution there. Professor, good morning. Okay. All right. Professor is trying there to join. Once he's able to join, then we can.
Miriam, I'm here.
All right.
Miriam, I'm here.
All right, Prof.
I want to say, Miriam, that we are in the liberalized economy. Liberalized economy that you can go anywhere and everywhere and you bring goods, so long as they meet the standards of KEBS. You will be allowed to bring in the country. So gone are those days when the government used to control what comes to the country. You can go to Russia, you import the medicine, you take to KEBS, you take to the pharmaceutical board, and Miriam, there you are. But you know very well that the embassy is already diplomacy. Of course, you want to admit that they are aware. So what I want to say that for the vaccine to come in the country is a good thing. And remember, Miriam, the era of the Cold War did not end. Because, Miriam, communism, socialism versus capitalism is an ideology. It may have not worked, but it's in the minds of the people. Mm-hmm. And the West have never taken it kind that the East, something good can come from the East. But you see, Russia, despite the breakaway of the Soviet Union, it still remains a superpower. And because of this war of the West we are trying to do, but and the way Chavan was trying to do here is that what the Deputy President, Dr. Samoei William Ruto was trying to do here is, that's the deviant, Miriam. But I want to say that when one day Jesus sent his disciples outside to go and heal people, to go and perform miracles. And then when they came back to Jesus, they said, when we went outside there, we found some people who was doing away with the demons. They were trying to do this. Jesus told them, were they against us? No. If they are not against us, they are for us. So if the Russian vaccine, Miriam, can help Kenyans, can mitigate Kenyans not to face the pandemic which is before us, is good. But the Deputy President for the Republic of Kenya is not an ordinary person, Miriam. And I've always advised him, and I'm still advising him, Miriam, to be defiant, we will not take you anywhere, Miriam. To disregard what your boss does and you go to the contrary, it does not help. So, Miriam, this is the war between the West and the East. Communism versus capitalism, Miriam. Mm-hmm. So what we want today is that, Miriam, this is a pandemic and they should stop and give us a break. You know, Miriam, out of this vaccine, it is not for free. People are making a kit at the expense. What to do is that the World Health Organization, Miriam, should be able to offer leadership and say Russian vaccine and the one from the West, they are all safe for human consumption. Mm-hmm. So you are free, Miriam, to take the drugs. Miriam, you know, you can take the original or a generic. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's your choice.
Yes, Professor.
So the Kenyans or other people...
I was seeing what Kenyans yesterday I saw online, and they were really... they had a field day with this yesterday, and they were saying Deputy President is always championing and is a champion for what he terms as the hustlers. And we've seen the reluctance that a lot of Kenyans have had with this free vaccination by the government, under the COVID plan. So it would have been prudent, according to Kenyans, perhaps for him to go and take this other job that all his hustlers could afford, because this job that he's taking and he seems to be championing for, a lot of hustlers cannot afford it. I think that is what the Kenyans were saying. So I don't know what you make of that.
Yes, Miriam, I have put my case forward. I was saying that he's trying to be deviant, Miriam. Mm-hmm. He's trying to disregard what the government is doing, Miriam. Remember, Miriam, when pride has entered you, you don't see good in others. So he knows that he can go for this, but since he has chosen the path, he is walking. The road is walking, Miriam. So be it. But we are beseeching Miriam. to pay is something good. To work as a team is good. And to fight this pandemic, Miriam, we must be able to read from the same script. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, Miriam, remember, we have not imported our own vaccine. This one is freely given. So if we find the one from Russia, that's the case I'm trying to build, that if the one from Russia is cheaper, the government can consider to procure it, because we are not going to be given for free things for life. So what I want to do here, Miriam, is that we want clear signals from World Health Organization that both vaccines are safe for human beings, for human use. And what I'm trying to say is, Miriam, the deputy president is the second in command. The president should not be doing this, and he does this. That's what I'm not seeing as kind. I'm not taking as kind. As a deputy president, Miriam, as much as you may not agree with your boss, sometimes when it comes to the health of the people, we should do it from the same script. But when you decide, Miriam, to do things in the contrary, that's what you are seeing from him. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much, Douglas. Do you have anything else you want to add to that before we move on to the next item?
Miriam, when the Russian embassy says that
we're having a bit of Douglas. We are having a bit of a problem with you.
The importer of the vaccine.
Okay.
And bring it. It's done.
Okay, go ahead.
When the Russian embassy says they have distanced themselves from that, the Ministry of Health and all that, but we see the Deputy President, senior lawyers, Donald Kipkoril, shows you that these are the ambassadors of the Russian vaccine. These are the people that the same doctor who was vaccinating the two lawyers is the one that went to vaccinate the Deputy President. Whereas nurses can be able to inject these vaccines who have been injecting the president and the rest of the country. These people are the special doctors from Russia. And Miriam, this shows you that William Ruto has a stake in this, whether politically, whether financially. We don't know what is happening. What as the people of Kenya want is accountability from the deputy president. And there is nothing wrong. I have heard the professor, and he has rightfully said it, but this is the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. This is a leader of the Republic of Kenya, second in command. A man who goes ahead and also gets vaccinated using the Russian vaccine. And this vaccine, he seems to have endorsed it. To many people, he has now endorsed it. They are going to sell their cows, because poor people, Miriam, have no money reserves in foreign countries. They are going to sell cows. Some sell their land, some risk their land, so that they can get the vaccine that their senior has been able to take. So, Miriam, this is a bad example from the deputy president, and we should condemn it, because he is subjecting poor people to bad choices financially when in the middle of a pandemic. Kenya is locked down. Some counties are locked down. The country is under curfew. People cannot do their business as usual. So this is a political hypocrisy and financial imprudence that William Ruto is putting a burden on the people of Kenya. And Miriam, in politics, there is nothing like personal choices. His choice is a choice of many people. Remember, Jivan is well educated, but he said when President Kenyatta gets the vaccine, he gets the vaccine. I'm going for the vaccine because the president has gone for the vaccine. So these choices by our leaders influence us indirectly, whether we want it or not, Miriam. So for me, I joined the Ministry of Health and also the Russian embassy to be able to distance themselves as they distance themselves from that. But William Ruto cannot be able to run away from responsibility. He needs to be accountable and tell the people of Kenya the truth. They need to go for the vaccine that is available. As for him, he is a billionaire. He can go for any vaccine that he wants. All vaccines, according also to Professor Jared Onyari, all vaccines are safe. But for him to be able to make a personal choice that he knows is going to infringe on his political choices and his followers, it is tantamount to irresponsibility as a leader. He would have gone for that vaccine privately, Miriam, because it is going to influence a lot of bad financial decisions in the middle of coronavirus, Miriam. So from my point is, this Deputy President, William Ruto, he cannot use his office to make personal decisions concerning these vaccines, because as far as he keeps endorsing these vaccines, Raila Odinga wakes up tomorrow and endorses a vaccine from Germany or from another country. It goes without saying, Miriam, many people are going to go for the vaccine that Raila Odinga has gone for. 10,000, 20,000, and this is going to affect us economically and also affect our political choices, personal choices, because they're influenced politically whether we like it or not. So from my perspective is that Dr. William Ruto is an irresponsible leader who has led the people of Kenya astray. When people are taking the AstraZeneca vaccine that is very safe for everyone, Dr. William Ruto goes for what he knows is safe to keep his life safe. But when he has been doing these rallies across the nation, ajui ni nini anawekea wa Kenya, anawahatarisha maisha yao, and at the end of the day, as he puts the lives of Kenyans in danger, Miriam, his life is very safe, his family is very safe, and this is the kind of political hypocrisy that we keep talking. He's an hybrid political gunman, a very responsible leader who cannot lead the people of Kenya in the right direction, Miriam.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much. And the Sputnik V, as much as it has not been, its efficacy has not been proved by the World Health Organization, because I think of the politics across the world, but it has been proved to be safe. There in Russia, President Vladimir Putin himself took it, and Russia is only administering that. They're not getting any vaccine from outside Russia, so it is safe to use, but we've seen, I think it's the backpedaling by the Ministry of Health that has really cast a bit of doubt in that. And for those who are wondering, why is it you're talking about Deputy President taking this vaccine? I mean, it's a health matter, it's a personal matter, and we agree. But the symbolism of that and what Deputy President stands for and his followers, who he terms of as hustlers, I don't know how many of them can afford to go pay this much money to get that vaccine. So it would have been for his own interest, I think, being the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, to endorse that one that the government already has here in the country that is free, that majority of Kenyans can actually afford. So the fact that he went and took that other one, which it's okay, it's a personal choice, but I think as a Deputy President, perhaps that might not have been a very good show of leadership among his supporters. Just my personal opinion, but you know.
Miriam,
Go ahead.
Miriam, let me just have this to say. Mm-hmm. I can now connect the dots, and I always tell you who the Deputy President is. He's a weird dealer. He makes deals. You have heard that the Russian ambassador has said that is for private. That's for private. And here you find that the old Deputy President for the Republic of Kenya going for it. Miriam, it goes without saying. He knows how these drugs are. He's the man behind it. Now you can be able to connect. If the Russian ambassador has said that it went for private, and here is the Deputy President for the Republic of Kenya going for it, Miriam, then Miriam, we are in danger. We are in danger that he can understand the goals for this job, so that he can send some signals to the merchants who have imported this vaccine to the country. So he's after making money. He's not after the interest of the country. Is not supporting the government, and that's why, Miriam, I'm very reluctant that this man should have been removed from the office. Not today, not yesterday, just the other day. He doesn't deserve to be feeding the government, because if you go contrary to the government policy, Miriam, then you want to say that you can be freely make choices? No, that's nonsense. From some of our viewers are trying to tell us. The Deputy President is not me. It's not Miriam. It's not Chavan. He is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who is supposed to support the government policies. If you go contra the government policies, Miriam, you don't deserve to be noticed. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Jevan, you wanted to add on to something quickly?
Yeah, I was saying that maybe the Deputy President was making a deal because I don't see the need for him to go public when he could have done this vaccination privately. Therefore, there was a signal that he was sending. Maybe he was endorsing the vaccine from Russia, because, he is a public figure, Miriam, and a number, not only Kenyans, thousands of people outside East Africa, outside Central Africa, and the whole of Africa, they know what the Deputy President of Kenya has done. Maybe he was sending a signal so that other countries in Africa might endorse the Russian vaccine. To me, on another perspective, maybe he was an ambassador of the Russian vaccine, making some coins here and there so that Miriam, he gets something in the pocket to sustain his political campaign. Because at the end of the day, you'll see thousands of Kenya, Miriam, going for the Russian vaccine. Those who have money, you'll see others in other countries getting the Russian vaccine. And because, Miriam, of the issue of the communist and capitalist issue of the Cold War, maybe the deputy president have come out clearly from the political arithmetic and chosen to work with the Russians, the communist way. Maybe that is why he is talking of Hazara narrative, to try to, so that he can bring this issue of maybe a communist kind of an agenda. Maybe he wants to go to the Russians. Maybe I see it as a deal, or maybe in the political future, he will maybe be working with the Russians. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Hey, you guys are reading too much into it. You're just thinking outside the box. Critical thinking. All right. Thank you so much.
Miriam, that is true. It is another signal that the packers of William Ruto, his presidency, are coming from Russia.
Okay. Sawa, Professor.
You cannot go contra to what the government is doing. So we must look from all angles,
especially on such an important matter. Especially on such an important matter.
We are wondering why a deputy president for the Republic of Kenya will go this direction, Miriam.
All right. He was trying to send a message. We shall just keep it here. And then Douglas anajua sana kuinvestigate, atakuja tuambie what's really going on there. All right. So we turn our attention to the Standard newspaper. The main headline there, Raila's top men in surprise BBI move. The Orange Democratic Movement has sent signals that it may be going slow on the quest to review the constitution through the Building Bridges initiative. In telling pronouncements by top party officials yesterday, the government was urged to instead redirect funds set aside for the upcoming referendum to fighting COVID-19 pandemic. And the story is on page 6 of the Standard newspaper. And it says Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya, who is the deputy party leader, and ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, said the funds for the impending plebiscite should be channeled to better use. As ODM threw the spanner in the works in the BBI process, the party also tightened its screws at its erstwhile partners, Amani National Congress, Wiper Ford Kenya, accusing them of trying to rock the handshake so that they can benefit from it. National Assembly Minority Whip Junet Mohammed described the ANC as greedy hyena sitting somewhere with hopes that ODM abandons the handshake. And I think we do have a clip from that. Let's hear what Junet Mohammed said yesterday.
Don't push ODM out of BBI by force. There are forces who have, small boys who have come to town now, who really want to push ODM out of BBI. I don't know for what reason. ODM is one of the parties that have huge stake in the BBI as a party. How do you walk out of your own agenda?
All right. Thank you so much. So Junet Mohammed is saying there are some partners who are coming in and wants to push ODM out of the handshake, and is asking how can ODM walk out of its own agenda, because ODM leader Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta, they are the founders of this handshake. So they're saying, no, you cannot abandon your own agenda and go where and do what. And Professor, what would you say to that?
Miriam, it is very unfortunate. And I want to repeat, very unfortunate. And I'm saying very unfortunate, and indeed unfortunate, that I'm hearing this, Miriam, that people want to abandon the redemption strategy, something which is going to save this country, Miriam. I will be very, very empty. Say about the Bukusu saying about the stone. The Ayana keeps saying, I know the stone, I'm talking to you, don't hear, but we have told Miriam, we have told the people of Kenya. And from here, what I know, Miriam, the worst person you can ever try to trust is a position. They can change at the 11th hour. I know after sometimes, Miriam, I'm the ground as even as when I'm here, I'm even in Siaya. I've been in Nyamira, I've been in Kisii, Miriam. People sometimes have been positioned that this BBI, even the constituencies are going to be more in central Kenya. And when you see the systems trying to think that one, this is the thinking of the readers. But Miriam, I want to tell you, for avoidance of doubts, The president is firmly in PPI. The prime minister is firmly in PPI. And Miriam, it is just a matter of time. You know, is it until next week or tomorrow? Yes. They are going to make a decision, Miriam. They are going to make a decision. This the Senate, the National Assembly, they have got nothing to do with that PPI. The people who have got the ultimate final say on PPI, Miriam, are the people of Kenya. And Miriam, this is a government agenda. So those who are opposed, who are saying that the government should divert the money going to the other side, when do they become the government, Miriam? If you want more funds to be channeled to the fighting of the pandemic, Miriam, you go to Parliament and move a supplementary budget, and we can have money. That's effect, Miriam. Who have told them that the government of money is lacking money to run it? It's affairs, Miriam. We have got money for BBI. We have got money for fighting the pandemic. So Miriam, and those are their personal issues. Others are being hyenas waiting to get the spoil and eat. But what I want to say that I'm appealing to the members of Parliament, to the leaders of this country. BBI is a redemptive strategy, Miriam. It is trying to reconcile the people of Kenya, Miriam. It is trying, Miriam, to fight corruption. It is trying to bring inclusivity, Miriam. At the end of the day, Miriam, I wish where do I find a big class so that these members of Parliament can hear what I'm trying to plead to them. I am going on my knees to tell them, Miriam, let us not miss this golden opportunity, Miriam, of supporting BBI, of supporting the Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga, supporting the President, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. They mean well for this country. This country will be moved by the people whom we are reading from the same script. So these members of Parliament, Miriam, they are trying to make it all so difficult, Miriam, so that they can get some few coins, Miriam. This is what we call blackmail. This is what we call intimidation. So, Miriam, that someone will come forward and say, oh, guys, there's something small for you. No, I submit.
Okay. Thank you so much. Jevan, Junet Mohammed, they're saying that people who are hoping, who are just, like he said, he used the metaphor for hyena, hoping that the meat will drop and they'll come in and go for a kill. But he said that ODM is still in the BBI because ODM is one of the founders of the BBI. So you cannot stop supporting your agenda.
Miriam, before I go to what the Mohammed Junet saying, because he's a man of many controversies, let me first of all say what explain something on what Governor Kakamega Wycliffe Oparanya was saying.
Yes.
That BBI is not a priority now, and Miriam are wondering when he was the COG of the Council of Governor, he was doing a lot to ensure that the BBI sees the light of the day. He campaigned a lot. Therefore, what have changed now that he says that BBI is not a priority? And we know for a fact, governors have been given a kitty to ensure that they are safe and they curb the spread of COVID-19 in their counties. They were given a total of 7 billion across all the 47 counties so that they prepare for the COVID-19. But Miriam, what are we getting? We are getting health centers without ICU facilities, without the oxygen cylinders and so on. Therefore, at the end of the day, the governors have misused their resources, and now they want the resources that were put aside to make sure that we unify this country, to make sure that we have a BBI, we realize we have a document that will bring Kenyans together, a document that will ensure that we streamline the electoral mechanisms to be used for their own personal gains. Because we know at the end of the day, we have very greedy leaders in this nation who sees every opportunity as a channel to enrich themselves. Therefore, I don't see that move as a good move because they are coming from their own personal interest. They should be held accountable, especially governors and Wycliffe Oparanya, to be held accountable for the amount of money that have been set aside previously to deal with COVID-19 before we add them the money that was set aside for the BBI. Miriam, we know we cannot stop everything because we have a pandemic, Miriam. We have other national projects ongoing. We have schools ongoing, Miriam. We have national examinations ongoing. We have other security officers getting their salary. We have the KDF and other government agencies doing their business. Therefore, we cannot stop the BBI only. If it's about stopping the country, let us stop everything. And I will not say like the man from Kisumu that this country should be disbanded and everybody to go home. But let's not stop things for the sake of BBI. Why are they using BBI as a scapegoat, as the only thing that we should stop in this country? We have other things that can be stopped, Miriam. But because we have a government that has an agenda, that have policies, that is why everything is moving swiftly, even in the midst of this COVID-19. Therefore, to me, that was quite hypocritical from Governor Wycliffe Oparanya, who has been a champion of this BBI. You know, Miriam, we have an issue, and this one I will say, the governors were serving their final term, Miriam. They have realized, Miriam, there is nowhere to run into. Now they are trying to bring all kind of dramas. You see Joho, you see Amason Kingi, you see Salim Vuria, you see Oparanya. These guys are confused to some extent because they thought there will be a regional government where maybe they could have been promoted to after serving in county levels. But all said and done, Miriam, BBI is still intact. I have seen Junaid Mohammed saying, and their issue in NASA, Miriam, they should deal with them privately without bringing the issue of BBI out. You know, NASA, I think to me, this just a paper. As a NASA, it is disorganized, Miriam. We have NASA, the NASA that we used to have in 2017. It's long gone. What we have is individual parties championing for their own individual interest. ANC, Ford Kenya, ODM, and other partner parties. Therefore, they should deal with their issues. And if they want to go back to the NASA, they should go back peacefully without bringing the issue of BBI in the center. And if ODM is afraid of Musalia Mudavadi and the One Kenya Party, they should reorganize themselves and come up with a strategy to counter what Musalia Mudavadi and Kalonzo Musyoka are doing without bringing the arithmetic of BBI in play. Because, Miriam, if ODM goes out of BBI today, I'm telling you for a fact, this country will go back to where we are in 2017, a deplorable country, a deplorable state. It's high time that they push together and we achieve these BBI. And BBI is not about the 2022 politics. If they have a presidential ambition, they will seek it individually without the BBI team. BBI is about unifying this country. When 2022 comes, everybody who aspires to be the president will do it individually with their own means without the team that is there to take this country to the next level. Let us unite this country first. The issue of 2022 will come to play at the right time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Douglas. Before you come in, Oparanya said the much-hyped referendum, seen as the brainchild of President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga, and which was key in cementing their legacy, should be deferred. If there is no money at the National Treasury, there is no need of pushing to have the referendum this year. We should plan to hold a referendum next year when our economy has stabilized and COVID-19 has been contained, said the governor, a close ally of Raila. And from what we know, what the Constitution says is that you cannot have a referendum in the same year you're having an election within 1 year if the national elections is 1 year away. I don't know if he's aware of that. So by him saying that we should have the referendum next year, I don't know what he's trying to tell us, that we don't need to have an election next year, because we cannot. Ikifika August, from August moving on to next August, we cannot have this referendum. We cannot have any referendum 1 year to the election. So it's either between now, and that's why they fixed the date in June, or there about July. I had one of the BBI committee members there say, I think July or something like that, because they're saying they're quite right on time, because a lot of these things have moved on very quickly, passing on the bill in the counties and all that. So they still have some time. And so by Oparanya coming in and saying, you know what, it's not even important, let's defy it and let's have it next year, knowing very well that we cannot do that when we are still we will be having our national elections next year. Douglas, what kind of messaging are we getting here?
Miriam, I would have wanted to send a letter to Governor Oparanya, but let me respond to your question.
Be nice.
Governor Oparanya is one of those governors when COVID-19 money came. He went to some place in Kakamega County and bought huge tracts of land so that when people die, he was going to bury them there. When money for COVID-19 came in Kakamega County, he bought body bags so that when people are going to buy en masse, he didn't even buy his own airbag and also earmark his own cemetery. He wanted when people of Kakamega die, they are going to be buried in a huge land that was bought by county government of Kakamega. Like Jivana said, these governors have stolen these funds. Kakamega is in the list of counties that have misused COVID-19 allocation fund, allocated funds, and also Meru County, Tharaka Nithi, Embu. There are so many other counties, Miriam, that are so irresponsible when it comes to financial prudence. Governor Oparanya leads the flock of governors who have misused money meant for the health of their people, and also is a part of a cabal of governors who wanted their people to die so that they would have the glory of we buried our people. We bought land with our COVID-19 funds, and our people can be buried in that land. When Governor Oparanya was being condemned for such an heinous act, he didn't have much to say. He didn't have much to report to the public. But this is a man who misused money, Miriam. This is a man who preempted the deaths, so many thousands of deaths in Kakamega and bought land for the same. But Miriam, can we trust such a man who has misused COVID-19 funds to continue advocating for BBI processes to be stopped? Miriam, like Jevan has said, I want to marry my point with those of Jevan and agree with him in totality. We cannot suspend this country and everyone goes home so that we can, when now everything recovers, so that in private sector, we are not paid where we work. In a government, people should not be paid. KDF should not be paid in Somalia, everywhere in this country. That is what Oparanya is telling us. Oparanya is telling us a state project called BBI should be stopped. Oparanya tells us that aspirations and the ideals of the millions of Kenyans should be stopped. And this is what we need to be able to come and talk about and make sure that at the end of the day, we deal with it decisively and openly and tell Governor Oparanya of Kakamega County the truth, that we cannot stop our lives because COVID-19 came. We have seen Tanzania, we have seen America, we have seen Liberia have gone to referendum. We have seen hundreds of countries who have continued with their lives as normal. Their referendum or their general elections have not been affected, Miriam. People continue. If a private sector can be able to sustain those people, public officials are being paid by government, life is moving on, Miriam. We cannot stop because we are in the middle of coronavirus, Miriam. And at the end of the day, for Governor Oparanya, because he says BBI is not a priority now, was a priority of you buying and misusing money and buying land to bury poor people in Kakamega County a priority? And again, Miriam, we need to ask ourselves the questions. Is our country going to be graded into a out because COVID-19 has arrived in our country? The answer is no. We are going to marshal the resources that we have to be able to curb the spread of COVID-19, and we have done so. When money was sent to Kakamega County, Governor Oparanya routed the money. When money was sent to Kakamega County, Governor Oparanya continues misusing such monies. And Miriam, my opinion is we need to continue as a country, continue the referendum, and disregard the opinion from Governor Oparanya, a route of public funds, a route of COVID-19 funds. When God will be judging COVID-19 routers, you judge Governor Oparanya Ashley for spreading COVID-19 in Kakamega using rallies and also routing their COVID-19 funds dry, Miriam. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And we've come to the end of our show this morning. On page 8 of the Standard newspaper, Finance Minister to be sworn in as Tanzanian Vice President, his nominee, Dr. Philip Mpango. There he has worked with World Bank, and his CV is quite flowery there. So Tanzanians are set to have their Vice President after the former Vice President, now the President, President Suluhu, came into power after the death of the late John Pombe Magufuli. There is a story I've seen on this Daily Nation here, but we will not talk about it right now. El Ade, the attack that we experienced in the country, what Somalia knew about the attack. Apparently, Somalia security agencies were privy to a build-up of Al-Shabaab fighters around El Ade. So we'll get a look at that even as we wait for that ruling from the International Court of Justice. Thank you, Professor. Jared Onyari. Thank you, Jevan Karanja and Douglas Kirimi. We shall be back here in a bit for the editor's memo, and then later on at 11 a.m. Where we shall be looking at that topic. My name is Mira Mogotu. Good morning.